I want to go to the Israel part in your life. You told me that it was after this visit to Israel that you had this sleepless night and the conversation with whoever it was. What was it in your visit to Israel? What was it in Israel that so impacts people that comes, even if they didn't study about Israel for all their life? And what is it? What is the magic?
You know, there's a magic in the Jewish people of Israel, uh, a magic about the approach. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but if I said to you, "Oh, the worst thing happened to me. I had the flu for 3 days," and you would say, "Oh, there's much worse things that can happen. Having the flu for 3 days is not a tragedy. If your house burned down, that might be a tragedy, but the flu for 3 days, that's not a tragedy." It's the whole attitude. It permeates you when you go to Israel and talk to Israelis.
It's why, because they suffer more, because their attitude is different.
Their attitude is definitely different, and they're more easygoing, more
Maybe less tied into obligations and
material things.
I don't know if it's the materials. I think it is the way that life here goes according to what's appropriate and what's not. You want to answer?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. What was it in?
The people of Israel just have a different attitude. You know, when Shai Hermish was here, his attitude was just, I mean, the people of Israel have a different attitude, have more of a positive, upbeat attitude. Like when I said to Shai Hermish, "What are you going to do about the Ethiopian Jews in Mevaseret Zion?" He says, "Is your daughter mad at me? The mayor's mad at me too." I mean, you have to laugh. So.
But is there also anything in the land, in the atmosphere, when people are coming back, even if they didn't really meet Israelis, they have this sense of something moving.
Yes. I don't know, there's a spiritual presence that sort of overcomes you when you're in Israel.
Is it still happening to you, even though you've been there for so many times?
I've been to Israel more than 40 times. And yes, it still happens to me.
Are you happy also to live?
To live?
No,
leave,
to leave.
To leave.
To go back after a while.
I always cry when I leave Israel.
And it's not only because you're leaving your grandchild behind.
No. I mean, I cried when I left Israel before I had grandchildren, so it's not only that. But I get excited to leave because I'm coming to my home and my other family. But I could stay in Israel much longer than I allow myself to do, because it's
a sense of home.
It's definitely a sense of home. You feel just rooted there.
without that's the magic, I think.
I think so too.
I mean, there is, you know, as an Israeli, you don't really realize that. But
No,
now
because
when
you take it for granted.
Yeah, but you know, people, you can see those imaginary roots going from a person that never been to Israel,
Yes.
and you can see those roots going into his heritage, you know, go back to his ancestors and planted there.
Yes.
It's like there is some kind of a physical root
Yeah.
that goes through that.
There's
and
a
that's,
connection.
Yeah.